welcome back to the Try Not to Retire challenge at Ferrari. 4 of our 11 Grand Prix so far this year have ended in DNFs forced by engine component failure. We had the control electronics die on us in Austria after just 17 laps of the main Grand Prix. Woo! And we were aiming for a podium in Austria. Not quite such high ambitions here for my home Grand Prix, because the AI are very strong at Silverstone, but we'll give it our absolute best and see what happens here. I've not really contributed that much to the Constructors' Championship so far, just 28 compared to Charles Leclerc's 148. Sorry about that. Fingers crossed, the second half of the season will go better than the first. Last year we got a P15 at Silverstone, so of course we would like to do better than that if we can. And then we'll take it from there. Obviously it's my home Grand Prix. Not that our team's home Grand Prix went very well because something on the engine broke there as well and we DNF'd at Imola. I'll whack my goals on for my specialists as we head to the track whilst I ask you guys to drop the video a like. Do please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're not missing any more of the content by hitting the notification bell as well. Formula 1 and Football Manager content continually coming to you over the next few weeks. And of course, once FC25 arrives in about a month's time, then we will have FC25 player career here on the ChesnoidPlays channel as well, which is certainly going to be worth your watch. So, hopefully we'll get all the way to the checkered flag today. I think I'll cry if I don't. Let's go to practice. Resource points acquired. I don't know whether we're quicker here or not. At the moment, I was fastest in the first practice session that we take part in by 2 or 3 tenths when I did a quali run. But you don't know what sort of fuel loads or age of tyres that other drivers are doing their fastest laps on. So, I mean, I'm presuming I'm going to qualify 11th or 12th because that seems to be the norm at the moment. The weather is more overcast for quali, which is going to be better for tyre wear. I would rather it was more overcast for the race, but our tyre wear is actually seemingly bang on here rather than 20+% higher than as it was in a couple of the most recent Grand Prix. So we're hoping that we can be as competitive as possible here. I'm going to put fresher parts in to hopefully, he says, hopefully avoid failures, right? That's the plan. Not that that plan has worked at all this season whatsoever, but we'll give it a go as we head then to qualifying at Silverstone. Please do wish me luck. Come on then. Need a 26 something. I think.
And that's just 30 seconds left in the session.
.26.1 from Oscar is rapid.
We've dropped to P20.
Basically done the exact same lap as I did in practice at 26.7. Of course it's P12. It's getting a bit silly now, isn't it? P12 in Q1. We're through to the next session. I would have needed about another tenth of a minute. In fact, I put the exact same lap time in as Sergio Perez. And I'm kind of performing in a Sergio Perez-esque way in comparison to my teammate, aren't I? In comparison to real life, as something to reflect on. Both Williams out, both Alpines out, Gasly out in the Sauber. I'm going to need to find another couple of tenths, though, if we're to make it through to Q3 as it stands. Going to probably need to be in the low 26s to make it out of the next session. So, P11 or 12 in Q2 incoming, I think.
Drop to P15.
I think this might be Q3. So 26.4, so we've improved by a couple of tenths from... Oh, God, are you serious? We've improved by a couple of tenths from the previous session. P11 again! Why can I not get into Q3? This is a real joke now. By half a tenth. Sergio Perez, P10 on a 26.396. I did a 26.427 by 31 milliseconds. I'm out in P11 again. I was up on Yuki for most of the lap, but was not able to get up on Sergio Perez. I keep starting 11th or 12th. It's pretty infuriating at the moment. Lando and Kevin put in the exact same lap time of a 26.391. I mean, there probably was enough time in the lap to get me into the next session, but I don't think there was enough. I don't think I had a 26.3 lower than a 391. I don't think I'd have been starting any higher than 8th in Q3 after a run there. I'm nowhere near a 25, that's for sure. But half a second off the pace. I mean, considering the aero scenario with the car, half a second off the pace isn't bad. We've got all the power in the world, but if you can't get the power around a corner because your aerodynamic package is the 7th best on the grid, then that is the reason why we are where we are, isn't it? P11 again for me. 11th or 12th in each of the last 4 or 5 qualifying sessions. Unbelievable. I'm trying my absolute best here as well. But that's part of the challenge at 105 difficulty. We have to keep growing the car and hopefully, eventually, we will be in a position where we can become a genuine title contender. Tyre wear was decent, supposedly, so we should, fingers crossed, be able to run a similar strategy to everybody else. Maybe use an undercut to our advantage. The pit lane is so long here that really you only want to be doing one pit stop. So it will probably be a medium hard or a hard medium. We might be able to push a medium soft, but it would be pushing it. So how did Q3 then go? Has Charles been able to get anywhere near pole? He was 4th in Q2. Yes, he didn't get near pole. He took pole by 0.03 of a second. 1:25.836 from Charles. I wasn't getting anywhere near that sort of lap time. I maybe had a 26.3 in me, but a 26 or even a low 26.12 or a 25 was absolutely nowhere. So I almost certainly would have qualified 10th if I'd gotten through to Q3. So 11th probably isn't that bad in the end, is it? Any penalties behind us? Doesn't look like it. Albon and Pourchaire at the back in both the Williams. Not a great qualifying session for them at their home race.
Home Grand Prix, but I want you to treat it like any other race. Let's not make...
We can supposedly medium soft. And everyone's starting on the soft. I would be really tempted
Any
to
unnecessary
counter
risks,
that
please?
and go medium soft. Like, really, really tempted to go medium soft. What did he want me to do? He wants me to do 25 laps. So that's the exact same thing, just the other way around. So, I mean, I'm quite happy to do that. I think I'll go medium soft and just try and hang on to those soft runners with the medium tyre and then be soft at the end. That seems like the obvious thing to do, right? Then if there's a safety car at any point, we just switch to a hard tyre and go to the end. I think I'd rather just be faster at the end and try and hang on with DRS, right? 4.83 laps worth of extra fuel is a lot, though. That's a hell of a lot of extra fuel. We'll go for 4 laps worth of extra fuel, and even that feels like it's overkill, but I don't want to take any risks, really. Or too many unnecessary risks. We'll start... Or do I just match everyone if everybody's on the soft? Maybe we do the same strategy, but we just undercut. We do the same strategy, but I'll just box on 23 rather than 25. I mean, it's probably not worth taking the risk, is it? It's probably not worth taking the risk. Because if I'm too slow on the medium, then I'm just dropped. Alright, we'll do exactly the same as everyone else, other than stopping slightly earlier for an undercut. Right, well here goes nothing then. The Mercedes aren't too high up on the grid. 8th and 9th for them.
Okay, incredible parking there.
We're
Nice one.
matching everyone else's strategy. Former teammate Kevin Magnussen alongside me. Hoping for good point. Well, let's start one thing at a time, shall we? Hoping to finish the Grand Prix. Then we'll take it from there, shall we? But let's at least make it to the end first. On the inside line here for this one, if I can. And I'll try. No, I'm not going to have the possibility to swoop around the outside there. Don't pinch too hard. But there you go, a bit of battery. And that's us past Yuki Tsunoda. Kevin and George going for it here. We might slow each other up. I might be able to nab someone. Hang it. It's not quite going to work, but that's fine. Right, I feel competitive.
Decent start. Good job.
Started P11, we are still P11, but in race trim, it feels like we're competitive. This is a positive start. A really positive start, actually. The inside of K-Mag. Hung it around the outside, able to carry more apex speed. It's fine. I've got the inside here instead then, Kevin. Excuse me, sir. Giving him racing room, but we should hopefully be able to nail the throttle and get past. Now I need to get back within DRS range before we get dropped.
We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
The detection point is just here for DRS, which we will now have. So the aim is to pit before everyone else. Currently set to pit on lap 25. We're going to aim to pit about lap 23. Purple sector 1 as well, so we're looking quick right now. Our race pace is definitely better than our quali pace. But this is probably the most competitive I've felt at Silverstone for a number of years. Normally the AI are just way, way, way too strong, but actually I feel like we can compete here. This is quite refreshing, actually. Can't quite break DRS to those behind. There are some gaps forming slightly further back, as you can see on the minimap. This front group are all together right now. It's very close between myself and George, so less than 3/10. Be wary of the aero wash, though. Yellow flag somewhere. It's behind, I think. Someone's going slowly.
Okay, clear.
Not sure who. It's a Williams, I believe. That's a Williams. Whether they've broken down or they've spun or something, I don't know. Let's have a look. Is it this one or the other one? Who's gonna die? It's Logan Sargent. Because that's Alex Albon, isn't it? I think. Let's have a look. Oh no. Yeah. It's... No, at 23 is Alex Albon. I thought Logan was number 2, not 21. Regardless, Alex Albon is dead. His car has gone pop, and that's it. Alexander Albon out of the session. My live chat just reminded me that it's actually not Logan Sargent that is Alex's teammate, is it, this year in this save? It's Théo Pourchaire. So Pourchaire continues, and Albon is out. They qualified 19th and 20th, and now one of them isn't even going to meet the end of the race. But let's be honest. Been plenty of races this season where we've not seen the checkered flag, so I can't really say anything at the moment for fear of it manifesting itself again and me getting another DNF. I would very much like to make some moves further forward if we can in the next few laps, though. Status quo is fine, but the further up we are, the more we'll benefit from our undercut. I'm going to go for it on George here. We need to start getting a bit aggressive. Just make some moves. Oof. Speaking of getting aggressive. Speaking of getting aggressive! Bloody hell, Kevin! I think Kevin Magnussen wanted to come through there. It is a risk trying to make overtakes because there's then a chance that you lose DRS to the car in front. Which obviously you can't afford to do. Took a little bit of damage there, trying to work our way around the outside of Kevin. Not sure whether I turned into him or he understeered into me. I think it's a mixture of both, really. Kev turns, or I think I turned slightly too early, if anything. We do make contact. It did pop up with something, but there's not any visual damage there, so we should be okay. Trying to take George. I'm now back down to P11 again. And I've got to take Kevin once more. Not to worry. This is why it's dangerous in that DRS train to make any moves. That's why people sometimes would rather just they get loads of aero wash around there that the others just don't seem to get. It's why it's sometimes just easier to stay where you are than it is to actually try and fight and move forward, because otherwise, as you see, the gap between George and the cars in front now is growing, and my trying to take George Russell to move myself up to 9th might have actually caused us to get detached from that group in front. I don't think it has. I think George is still within a second, but Charles is creating a gap out in front, isn't he? And we're showing that there is there is pace in even my Ferrari. So if there's pace in my Ferrari, there's definitely pace in Charles's. George got very aggressive around there last time onto the Wellington straight, and Kevin was trying to force his way through as well. So, lesson learned. Maybe try and make the overtake somewhere else, like we did last time with Kevin. Because at some parts of the track, they will just throw it back up the inside of you and have a go again. Got a good run on Kevin here, or at least I did. I might try up the inside here again. It's worked for us once on Kevin Magnussen. It will maybe work for us twice on Kevin Magnussen. It will indeed. He's tucked in behind me.
Nice work,
Right.
mate. That brings you up
Gonna have to use a bit of battery here to close in on George. Can't afford to lose the DRS. And I think we just managed to make it back within DRS range because of the concertina effect of the cars in front. We have indeed. Good. Now I need to recharge my battery back up.
Okay, the car ahead's beginning to pull away.
That's fine.
You know what to do. Gaps
Back to where we were then.
5,
Status quo once more. Up in P10 behind George Russell. I could just be closer to George through Stowe. There's the opportunity to do to him what we've done to Kevin. They do concertina up going into that final chicane. If I can just get close enough, maybe there'd be a way through. Tempted to do to him what K-Mag did to me through there as well, but it's probably not worth it. Charles isn't necessarily getting away out front. He's got a bit of a gap to the McLaren, but it's not like he's disappearing all the way down the road. The undercut here is basically going to be the only tactical option we have at our disposal to try and make some positions, because everyone is so fast in a straight line. The DRS train behind actually stops after Stroll. So it's P2 to P12 at the minute. There are quite a few cars in this train. But it's more all aboard than any early departures here at the moment. Do I? I might. I'm gonna.
Stuff, mate. You hit the target well there. Nice one.
Used a lot of battery. George comes back at me, but I'm having hopefully around the outside here. That's P9. We've gotten the job done. Notice where we potentially were able to make the overtake and then pulled it off. P9 ahead of George Russell now. It's taken 12 laps to actually do it and hold it, but we are through. We've actually dropped Russell and Kevin behind out of DRS range. That's massive. That gap hopefully will continue to grow now, and we can just pull away and guarantee ourselves a strong, at least P9 finish. But obviously we have ambitions of finishing higher than P9. I'm finding it harder to close and stick with Perez than I was Russell. Hopefully we can maintain the charge and still stand a chance of making some more positions either before the pit or with the pit undercut. Checo having a look at Lewis here around the outside of Stowe. They're going to be slow into the chicane now. Oh, I really had to get on the anchors there. Checo's made the move. Sergio Perez up to P7. Lewis down to P8 now. We've made it past one Mercedes. Now we have to try and make it past another. I don't know if Checo's still in DRS range of those in front. It's Carlos Sainz that's the Haas there. I think he's still within a second. And a lunge up the inside of Lewis here. That's P8. That was a really nice overtake and held it this time rather than the last time we tried to take Russell in the same position and didn't quite manage to make it stick. Thank you, Lewis. Up to P8. Right, Checo's vulnerable now. Not going to be able to take him here. But we can't wait too long. We're trying to make... Someone's in the box already. Carlos Sainz pitting. Sainz on a two-stop. Sainz on a two-stop. Didn't expect any of that at this stage. I thought we were all on the same strategy. We are not. Carlos Sainz is in. He's the only one on that strategy unless someone else boxes next lap. Carlos Sainz is presumably then going soft, medium, medium, or soft, medium, hard, or soft, soft, medium. Might be running two sets of soft tyres here if they've got them available. Sainz has gone to the medium tyre. He's going soft, medium, and presumably then medium again, or hard at the end. Plan here is stick right behind Sergio Perez. Try and close the gap. There's currently 1.4 seconds between Perez and Piastri down the straight when we have DRS. And we really need to make sure we get into DRS range of Piastri, his teammate, and the Aston Martin. I think actually it might be Max Verstappen in there as well. And Lando's a little bit further down the road, right. Didn't quite have a good enough run through Maggotts and Beckers, I didn't think, but we've got the straight line speed. We're past Sergio Perez, but the gap in front is sizable now. Although they're starting to battle, Max went wide there. Maybe we will be able to close that gap back up again. It's going to take a lot of battery and some decent driving to do so. So allow me to shut up and drive. Thank you, bye-bye. I'm under threat from Checo. I'm trying to use battery. It's going to go down the outside. Just need to lose as little time as possible fighting Checo if we can. Trying to, at least at this moment in time, maintain the gap in front with use of VRS. Closing it seems to be pretty difficult with the way that they're able to utilise the pace of Max Verstappen and DRS. I'm losing my battery now as well. We're probably going to start falling back. At the moment, a top 5 finish is looking more and more difficult as time goes by. It depends how strong the undercut is. They're going for it in front. In fact, he's just gotten the move done. If we even got to stow there, Fernando Alonso. Alonso back on the podium. Verstappen in P4, Piastri P5. Gaps in front kind of maintaining themselves at the minute, but my battery reserves are getting lower and lower each lap. Trying to stick with them, whilst also defends to Checo and Lewis behind. Proving to be pretty difficult. So far, so good. We're stopping in 4 laps time. Just want to get back within DRS range, and it brings us right back into contention again. Alonso and Max getting feisty. Gaps under a second now to Piastri. We'll try and use battery to maintain it. We might be able to hold DRS range here. It brings us right into the fight for a podium again. We are in DRS range of the 3 in front. The podium charge is back on. I've had to drive like lightning to be able to maintain the gap. But we are getting there. Slowly but surely, it's coming back towards us again. Will allow me to recharge my battery a little bit as well. Alonso going for it on Max. Alonso locks up. Big lock up from Fernando Alonso. Could have a look at Piastri here if he doesn't go defensive, which he has done. Can I make it round the outside of him? Oh, it's tight. It's tight, but no is the answer. It was worth having a look. We're going to stop in 2 laps' time. I can get Piastri now. P5. The forward progression continues. We might not have it in quali pace, but our race pace is genuinely pretty decent. Verstappen on Alonso here, maybe. He's thinking about it. He's going for it into Stowe. And we're switching positions every lap or every other lap at the minute, these two. We're going to box next lap on 23. Go for the undercut, which hopefully will get us into a podium position post pit stops. I'm going to box this lap. We will come out 19th and last when we box, which is where Carlos Sainz is currently. He, of course, pit very early and he's the only driver on a 2-stop. We're only getting a couple of laps worth of undercut, so we shouldn't really have too much traffic to work our way through. We shouldn't lose too much time, I don't think. Sainz might be losing time stuck in traffic here, which is going to ruin his potential 2-stop. I don't think we'll have a similar fate. Front left is feeling it now, though. 51% on the front left. He does. That'll be my teammate then, because I'm in the other Ferrari, aren't I, Mark? Alonso on Verstappen again. We're in the box this lap for a set of mediums, and they both are too. Wow. Charles is in as well. They're undercutting too. We didn't anticipate that. We didn't anticipate that. I didn't know Charles was in as well. The undercut is actually us getting held up with the double stack. Oh, we're going to end up losing time. Piastri and Perez have kept going though. So we might... Oh, everyone behind me didn't pit and everyone in front of me did. We did not see that coming. I didn't know Charles was coming in until we were already committed to the pit lane. That is the curveball we did not expect, nor did we want. Now we've got to try and close in on Max Verstappen in front. Oh, mate. No one saw that coming. Lots more in the box now. Fastest lap of the race from me. Shows you how much pace we've got at the moment. And why, if nobody had boxed on 23 and we had been able to pull a couple of laps worth of undercut, why it would have worked so well. Because on that lap 25, I just set the fastest lap of the race. So we definitely would have made positions.
Okay, so all of our time,
but unfortunately, we haven't. There's still a couple in front of us yet to box. So Zhou Guanyu, Daniel Ricciardo are yet to box. So we're running a net P6 currently, which I believe is where we were previously, or were we 5th? We might have been 5th. Ah, and Sainz has to box again. So we're running a net P5, which is where we were. Sainz has to box again, but he's gone from last to first because of his pit strategy so far. Hopefully, they'll all get caught up behind Carlos Sainz because he's on a more worn tyre right now, and that will bunch us all back up again. And if that does happen, then we're in with a shout of a win today. Ricciardo and Zhou in the box, so we'll be up to P6 now as Fernando Alonso takes my fastest lap time away from me. Piastri takes it away from him.
Piastri has just set the fastest lap of the race.
That's what happens when you've got DRS, which I don't right now. Fuel is fine.
Okay, so gap to the car ahead, 1.8 seconds.
Charles is past Carlos Sainz, and Lando is too. He's not really holding them up, unfortunately. Oh, that lock up from Verstappen put me off a little bit. Trying to close on Verstappen. He's desperately trying to close on Fernando Alonso. We did have a quick pit stop, but we got held in the box for others behind us that were also coming in for their stops. So we ended up losing more time than we needed to. I can't believe they all boxed on 23 as well. That's crazy. When the default pit stop was 25, everybody had the same undercut idea. There's an RB back there that might have spun rather than retired. Let's have a look. He's battling and whee! Round we go. Oh dear, Daniel, mate. That's not gone well, has it, pal? Ready, Teddy, go. Oh, hello, Oscar. Perfect timing.
Try to stay with them. They might make a mistake.
Well, maybe.
Still regain the position.
Maybe Piastri can take me with him to Verstappen and Alonso. That was annoying. Literally, just as I unpaused, Piastri had a run on me. It's fine. If Piastri's quicker for now, that's fine. I'm quite happy to sit behind him and follow. We'll give it a lap. And see if Piastri can actually drag us up to Verstappen and Alonso, who I'm sure are going to continue to fight. 2 seconds the gap between Piastri and Alonso right now.
Use your overtake button more. It's time to
We'll manage it. If it still continues to to grow, then we will look at getting past Piastri and trying to close back in again whilst defending from Piastri behind again. Quite frankly, with the amount of battery we've saved already, I think it's probably going to be in my best interest to yo-yo with Oscar to try and close them anyway.
Great stuff. You hit that target. That sets us up nicely for the rest of this race.
Sainz is on his way back towards Verstappen and Alonso at the minute, so that might slow them up a little bit.
The lap to the car behind. 1 second.
Ricciardo's about to get lapped. Charles Leclerc is battling with Lando Norris for the lead. I mean, if people are in front of us all battle, then we will gain time on them if we don't battle with Piastri. But it's a case of knowing whether that's going to happen or not. If it definitely is, then I won't battle Piastri. We'll just sit with him and all both close up. If they're not going to battle, or we're not going to close without getting past Piastri, then I'm going to want to close the gap. But the gap is coming down, as you can see, to those two in front at least. So fingers crossed this tactic is going to work. Myself and Oscar can put ourselves both in the in a position for a potential podium, and then we can just be the one to get it. They're fighting again into Stowe. We're going to be within DRS range of the two in front very soon, I think. I might actually just make a go on Piastri and try and close the gap. I'm gonna take Oscar here. I'm gonna take Oscar and I'm gonna try and close up. They've just caught up to Carlos Sainz as well, so they should get held up a little bit here too. This might be the opportunity to try and get ourselves onto the podium here. Gonna have to use quite a bit of battery, but Alonso's already made it past Carlos Sainz. Verstappen is now trying to. The gap is closing, but I'm not sure it's closing quick enough at the minute. Verstappen might actually lose Alonso here, although he was able to close in on Alonso after the pit stops. We're getting there. There is definitely the chance of a podium today, provided the car doesn't die on me, like it has done in the past two Grand Prix. The win a bit further. Here comes Piastri again. A, whether we'll get that VSC/safety car, which I don't think we will. If it's a VSC, then I'd probably be the only one to stop, and I don't know whether it'd be worth it. If it's a safety car, then presumably everyone would stop. If they didn't, then we'd gain quite a few positions, I think, between now and the end of the race. But what would be great would be a safety car about lap 40. That'd be lovely if possible, please. If you could arrange that for me, other drivers on the circuit, then I'd appreciate it. Going to take Piastri again here.
Okay, good work. Great pass.
Still just 2 seconds to those in front. We can't seem to close the gap on Fernando and Verstappen. I don't quite have enough pace to stop Piastri being an issue. And I don't quite have enough pace to close the two down in front quickly enough to be able to forget about Piastri. He keeps having a go at me down the Wellington straight, which is this one here, because he gets a better exit than me. And then with DRS and ERS, he's able to attack me. I mean, I'm confident of a P5, but anything more than a P5 is questionable right now. I think I had a moment there, and then Piastri had a moment too. Watch it from over with Piastri. I got out of shape here on the curb, and then he did the same and had to get out of it. I think bit of aero wash, giving us a bit of a reprieve to him behind. Although he's within DRS range now, so he'll just zoom straight back up to the back of me. Annoyingly, if it had just dropped out of DRS range, that would have given me enough of a gap to hopefully maintain. Right, we're safe behind now, provided I make no mistakes. We're safe behind. Eyes only forward. That 40 of 52. The closest we've been to Max since the pit stops is just over 1 second. We haven't yet gotten within DRS range of him. That was just as he was stuck behind Carlos Sainz before Sainz pit. But the gap is coming down as he and Alonso continue to fight. And if I can join that duet, make it a triplet, then there is a chance of a podium today. But they're closing in front on the lapped Daniel Ricciardo. If I can catch him at just the point where I'll get DRS down the hangar straight, that would be massively beneficial. But I think, if anything, at the minute, Alonso's going to get that DRS and I'm going to go without. Although he's letting them through cops. Please, Daniel, don't. Not yet. Not yet. I'm going to get DRS off Daniel. I'm sure of it. Go one, maybe. Yes, Daniel Ricciardo. You hero. And he's going to let me through. Please let me through. Please let me through. Daniel! Thank you. Oh, that DRS is massive. Look at the gap now. 1.3 to 4 rather than 2. Daniel Ricciardo, you legend, mate. It's gone back up again, but it's still taken some out of it, which I'll take. I'm going to need all the help I can get. 10 laps to go, hunting for a podium. Oh no, agonisingly close is definitely the word for it. Please. I think we might just have done it. Oh, or not. Brake a bit later. Through the detection point, I think we might have just got DRS. Yes! Bring on the podium! DRS! Yes! Come on then. Operation finishing the top 3 is underway. 6 laps, including the one we're on, to try and make our way past both cars in front, and then crucially hold on to that position as well. Forza Ferrari! Verstappen with the fastest lap of the race, so 28.20. 2 laps to go. And the minute, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to do it. We've fought valiantly to get here. And we've been close. We had one attempt to try and take Max. It sadly didn't work. I might be able to take Fernando, but both... I'll rephrase. I might be able to take one, but both is looking like an impossibility at the moment. It's been a hell of a Grand Prix, and it's a fantastic return to form. Considering the way that the last few races have gone, and after the way qualifying has gone recently as well. I just haven't quite been able to break out of P5 and into 3rd or 4th. Contact between the two. Verstappen slow. Going for it. Oh, Fernando locked up as well! Fernando's turned into me. Fernando's still there. Side pod damage.
Okay, the underbody's taken some damage.
What on earth happened there? Fernando locked up. So the lunge I made on Max ended up a lunge on both of them. I got the move done on Max, and Fernando, so concerned with locking up, just didn't realise I was there. I was in his blind spot. I've gone for the move, which I was going to do legitimately and make, but Fernando's pinched too much. Fernando turns into me, and then Max says, "Ta very much, I'll see you both later." Then Fernando clouts over the curb, as I probably should have given him a bit more space. Runs into me again. Oh my goodness. What a dramatic end to an unbelievable Grand Prix so far. There's a thumbnail in it. Fernando now with wing damage. Myself now with side pod damage. A lunge on Fernando. I need to get past Fernando to stand a chance
Nice work,
of getting Max. And I don't know if I'm going to get the chance to get Max. Might not even be able to stay ahead of Fernando because of our side pods and or floor damage. We've lost a lot of straight line speed. It's not how I envisaged gaining an extra position. I might still not get it.
The underbody's incurred some slight damage, but nothing too serious at the moment. Just be careful.
Fernando slow around cops. Max has gone. The podium is gone. The move was there. I was only anticipating making the move on Max. And the move on Max absolutely would have been done. Fernando locked up, so I had no choice once I'd committed to go for that inside line. Fernando's going to try around the outside of Stowe. We're going to hold on there. Charles wins! He got Lando at the death. Charles Leclerc wins the race. Fernando Alonso having to battle against the other McLaren behind to hold on for P5. Piastri wants it. It's P4 at my home Grand Prix. Max Verstappen is on the podium. Wow!
That's the end of the race.
That was
See you in Podium, mate.
more dramatic at the end than I wanted it to be. But P4, driver of the day. We finished the race, which is the first part. And then to get a P4 and 12 points on the end of it as well is massive. We've almost doubled our points tally for the season with that finish. The car is good. Only 13.5 seconds off my teammate in race pace is very, very good indeed. And I would go as far as to say it was not my fault. Fernando locked up and then turned too tight. He couldn't see me. I think it's just a racing incident. He couldn't see me. I was in his blind spot. He's tried to defend from Max, not knowing I was there. And unfortunately, there's been a collision. It's a racing incident. Max gets the podium. I get P4. It's absolutely not an unnecessary move, Harry, at all. My home Grand Prix, space, Alonso lockup is absolutely on there. The move was absolutely on Max, which was the intention. And then when Fernando made his mistake, the move to take Fernando was absolutely on as well. I think that's fair. It was forceful, but it was fair. And it was Fernando that turned into me without knowing I was there. It's not his fault. It's not my fault. Things keep failing, though. I was expecting new developments to come through. I have to wait till Spa for the front wing gurney flap, unfortunately. Fuck's sake. Hopefully the intercoolers and the heave dampers pass, which they both have done, so the chassis will get better for Hungary, which, to be fair, is very good. Chassis for Hungary is important, but still the aero hangs in the balance. Still now the 8th worst aero package as RB improve. Unbelievable. We cannot get any more chassis improvements until I've got 50% recognition, which I will not be able to get against Charles Leclerc for a considerable period of time. We cannot get any more upgrades on the power unit until I've got 60% recognition or 50% recognition, which is not going to happen for a considerable period of time. We might be able to unlock that valve timing, although that's a supplier upgrade, so that will be on Ferrari's part. We will be able to upgrade durability-wise, and we will be able to continually upgrade aerodynamically. If only that front wing flap had passed, then there's still improvements to the car to be made, but Charles Leclerc hopefully will be able to upgrade those parts that I don't have access to. And as we progress towards the next round of the championship, Charles Leclerc moves himself into second in the drivers. And we have gone past McLaren now in the constructors. Or were McLaren... Did we eclipse... Yeah, we must have taken McLaren. We must have been 5th. We're past McLaren now because Charles outscored Lando and I outscored Oscar. And we're only 7... Make that 8 points behind Aston Martin. So we should hopefully, with a good performance in Hungary, outdo Aston Martin as well and move ourselves into 3rd in the Constructors' Championship, provided I can put the performance in. We're probably going to need to take a new control electronics component at some point between now and the end of the season, but when that is, remains to be seen. We will not do it at the Hungaroring. We might do it. We might do it at Spa, where hopefully our power unit will ensure us a good finish. It's a fully dry Hungaroring as well, which is usually the case. It's stonking hot in Hungary most of the time, and it will be again. That was finally a very good race. Thank Christ for that. And a lot of drama there as well. Do drop the video a like if you enjoyed it. I certainly did. Subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss out on Hungary. Our season might well have just come alive. Join me for the next one. I'll see you in Hungary. Ta-ta.